How do you feel about the mood in the country, given this government that has suddenly, it's an unexpected government, right? None of us saw this coming. And what is the mood like? And do you have concerns or confidence in the long-term stability?
I do. I think there's a huge desire for stability. You speak to businesses, you speak to civil servants, you speak to civil society. What do you call that? And you know, the fact that there was no majority. So you need some form of government. I think, you know, I come from the opposition background and whatnot, and we've always never liked 2/3 majority. But having gone through Sheraton Move and beyond, I think people appreciated that we now have 2/3 majority. So I think that we have to use the goodwill in the fact that Datuk Sri Anwar is Prime Minister after 24 years, right? And then you have this sort of cross-party alliance, unity government in place. We have to make use of what we have now to make up for the lost time. Because I think we see how Indonesia is growing. We see how Vietnam is growing. And I think there's a lot of desire that, you know, for us to catch up. And I think there's a lot of international interest in Malaysia right now. And I think that sense of stability, I think, is important. And I think one of the positive things is the fact that, people are all quite concerned about the PN, the rise of PN. And that sort of, whether for better or for worse, it has sort of brought the unity government together. And I think, but at the same time, it's important to engage and not be dismissive. We have to understand why not just the East Coast, the North, even parts of Selangor. In my area, to be honest, I did not expect PN to be the number 2 party. I always thought that in spite of their money and campaign, I thought that Barisan being the stronger brand would prevail as number 2. Yes. But it was Perikatan, right? So I think we have to understand. And I think because there's always this easy thing where we like to dismiss that we make them a boogie, and then we demonize the people who voted for them without understanding why that happened. And for me, I continue to engage. As I said, I continue to talk to even people like Datuk Takiuddin. When I go to Kelantan, I went last Sunday for the floods, and I'm going again tomorrow. I made a point to contact with the local legislators and state government officials, so to make sure that that sense of communication is always there. So I think that is important, to keep open those lines. And I'm sure, Prime Minister is quite clear on this and all that. One of the lessons that we learn is, Kelantan has been penalised for so long for voting a different party since 1990, and they didn't change. It never stopped them from voting PAS until today. So I think that approach is very much, that zero-sum game, or you voted for something different, we penalise you. That can't go on. And I think we can't afford. Malaysia is only as good as the, the poorest state. So if we continue to penalise the East Coast, we can't go far. So yeah, I'm optimistic, but we have to be wary and continue to engage and find out how can we gain the confidence I think, to be fair, we did quite well with the Malays in Selangor all the way to Johor, West Coast. But in terms of East Coast, the North, it's something that we have to sit down and understand.